Do-Rag Wisdom, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Earth Date Y2K 21.04.30. Music in the background, if you could hear it, are excerpts from Miklos Rosa, the great composer, The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes, directed by Billy Wilder, by the way. This is my response to the President's address to Congress. There are so many things that this President, JRB, Joseph R. Biden, wants to accomplish in his term. He knows what he is up against. And if he doesn't finish the great work he intends, it is up to us to take on the crucible of the fight. Are we up to it? I fear that so much is going to be abandoned. This president does not want us all dead, as the last one did. This president has bold, presidential-worthy plans for the betterment of our country and of the world. He has already delivered on his 100-day pledge and then some. He could only get this done through reconciliation because there is something called a tyranny party and a perverted evil filibuster which makes anything a well-intentioned chief executive wants to accomplish null and void. This President JRB has other grand visionary plans for our future because it includes care for our wounded planet. Similar to me, this president is in his 70s and is on his way out. And what does he choose to do with his remaining time? He wants to upgrade both infrastructures, human infrastructure and the regular traditional one that we're familiar with. Imagine all our energy being generated in a natural, non-poisoning way. Imagine schools up to date with enough resource to educate the entire planet if they had to. Imagine a world where there are funds to make sure that the quality of life is enhanced and human misery, for the most part, is expunged. I have imagined it all, except that I am a pessimist, a glass half empty person. And after living more than 70 years on this beleaguered, sad planet, I have mostly lost hope that I will be one of the lucky generations to be able to witness the next evolutionary phase of the human species to a more refined being. Sorry, I will die among the savage naked apes as those before us have. This president will do the best that he can, except that he is up against a wall of evil, an eternal boot camp run by naked, savage apes. The human race, I have learned, is at its best when it is making each of its members and the animal species as miserable as possible. We've allowed those in charge to turn our way of life into a boot camp, with all of us being the maggots for the rest of our days. Here we have a president ready to go big in the face of death, and he is up against a GOP bound and determined to destroy our free way of life. That's right, our free way of life. This same party stands in opposition to every visionary thing that President JRB wants to do. They voted against the pandemic relief. My local piece of crap representative, Millie Takis, voted against it. I used to have Max Rose. I live on Staten Island, you have to remember. We are besieged with right-wing maggots. And to add insult to the filibuster injury, there are at least two Democrats in the Democratic Party who are so conservative that they stand to undermine the progressive and visionary plans that this Democratic President, JRB, wishes to accomplish for the good of us all. The mansion of the mansion is one of them. Because you see, folks, we don't want peace, harmony, and self-actualization, as Maslow put it. We've been trained from the day we were born that this, our planet, our existence, is nothing but an absurd and cruel boot camp. And what are we ultimately being prepared for in this boot camp? Why, the humiliation and misery of dying and death. The end of the long orgasm of pain. These creeps on the right scream about the radical socialists! The radical socialists are coming! The radical socialists are coming! The radical socialists are coming! Yay, yay, yay! The radical freaking socialists! Ooh! Oh! Well, in the 70 years plus now that I've been on this planet, I never recollect that we ever elected a radical socialist president. However, if you cut through all the doublethink and revisionist history of the tyranny party, you finally learn that our country really did step over the freaking line. Remember? And we actually allowed a reactionary, fascist dictator to really become our president in the form of the Nazi number 45, whose name I don't even want to mention. And these people who support him, do they think we're going to sit idly by if he decides to come back again? That maybe some of us don't have our firearms too? I wish that the majority of our country were more afraid of fascism than of socialism. Because in spite of attempting to heal our wounds with our new adept president, the threat of reactionary fascism still exists in our country through a party, the former GOP, bent on canceling our votes. Wouldn't it be nice if this president were able to go big for us instead of being undermined? I am too old to be surprised by this crap. I am a pessimist after all. A sad, pathetic schlepper like all the rest. We've made of our lives a freaking boot camp. And nothing is going to change until we allow ourselves maybe an honorable discharge into wisdom, into harmony, and into a this world paradise for all.